What's up, you guys? It's me, Bridget B, your dirty blonde, and welcome to this edition of Boobs, Booze, and Bites. Now listen, the boobs can't go anywhere. They're just here to stay. But the boobs and bites are something that I love and want to explore with you because there is nothing sexier than being informed and knowledgeed and well-rounded. So this series is going to take some things that I'm extremely passionate about. I love to eat and I love to drink. If you've heard my podcast, which is linked down below, you will know all about that. So I went through my local grocery store and literally at random, and I'm not even kidding, I just picked 4 that looked the sexiest. Now, this little number, the can, I've never tried wine in a can, so we're gonna try it for the very first time here. Nothing is over 20 bucks, so if you want to kind of sample with me and get inspired for your next date, stay tuned. Wine is one of my most favorite things to not only try and sample on my own, but to also try on a date and also try with friends. There's something really sexy about going to a vineyard, and then there's something really fun about just getting wasted and sloshed at your local restaurant on a Thursday night with a bunch of your girls. So with that being said, I brought the Vineyard to meet. So we're gonna sample some wines that I thought looked sexiest on the shelf. Starting with Yes Way Rosé. So Yes Way Rosé was started by 2 dear friends named Erica and Nikki in about 2013. And once I started to read more about this vineyard, I read that they just wanted to come up with something that was not to be taken seriously. And the fact that I even picked it off the shelf, not knowing that that was a backstory, is pretty cool. I love how pink it looks. I love that it is white with black letters. It's aesthetically very pleasing. The top cover is nice and matte. I enjoy that. And just even the way it's written, I like that the letters are nice and bold. You know, when you have this on a table, it looks cute. Now, I don't think that this is necessarily maybe something way sexy for a date. I think this would be a lot more fun for like a bunch of friends getting together. Don't get me wrong, you can pick whatever it is that you want, but in my personal opinion, I think that this would look best like at a table with a bunch of friends. So if you are on a date, I'd probably go with something that I saw, which was Whispering Angel. It was a beautiful bottle. It was gorgeous. If you see it, let me know, comment below. But for a friend and a fun outing, why not? So let's give this a taste. Now, don't judge because I do not have a wine glass, which is terrible of me, but they're all in my dishwasher. And I chose the absolute wrong lip color for this damn video. I wanted it to match my dress, so I'm going to try all of these out in a straw. And I also picked bottles that were screw top, so I didn't have to go in digging. So let's see. First impression. Smells fruity. Smells very dry. I smell citrus. And I smell like strawberry. Now, this is first impressions. On the notes that I do have, I'll have to go back and we're gonna see if it concurs with what I just said. So, it does smell pretty good. Okay, so we're trying this out. with a straw, ladies and gentlemen, because I am not about to put red lips all over this shit. Totally the wrong way to, if any sommelier is looking at me right now, they're probably like, oh my gosh, she's so fucking dumb. Okay. Crisp. Dry. And it reminds me of summer. This rosé to me is definitely like a summertime drink. Anytime I go to Europe during the summer on holiday, rosé is very often the drink of choice next to an Aperol Spritz. And the way it smells in the bottle definitely matches what it tastes like. Definitely you want it chilled. So I would probably suggest, if you're having like brunch, a couple of egg dishes, French toast, some fruit salad, these rosé bottles in a big like canister with a bunch of ice and maybe some cut up strawberries to put inside would go really nice. And yeah, I can see myself getting wasted on this. So 1 out of 5, I would give this on a rosé scale. I'd give it a 3.5. It's just not, I love rosé, but I've had others that taste a little bit fruitier and definitely less drier. So I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5. Next up, we have a white called Justin. Justin is pretty familiar to me. I've seen it quite a bit at the grocery store and at the liquor stores. It's a very prominent vineyard in California. And according to my notes, which I'm reading right here, this 2019 is a clear, yes, bright, pale straw color with lemon, peach, pear, green apple, tropical fruit, and a subtle herbal note, and just a hint of white pepper. I saw the rosé in my mouth. So again, another dry wine, but Sauvignon Blanc I really enjoyed, like on a afternoon date on the water in a marina or by the pool, if you're wanting to grab something to eat, make a little picnic, and you guys can just sit by the hot tub on the summertime, late spring. Most white wines to me are symbolic with fish, nice and crisp, light. So I haven't tried this one because personally, when it comes to white wine, I tend to go more towards the Pinot Grigio side. I tend to enjoy more of the Riesling and Pinot Gris are my two, and always a really good Pinot Grigio are some of my staples. Sauvignon Blanc, not so much to me because it's a lot drier. When it comes to white wine, I prefer sweeter and I prefer more tropical. So we're gonna see, but I do love the vineyard, which is the Justin Vineyard, so can't be that bad. Let's try it. So let's see. I love screw tops, they're just so easy. Okay, so off the bat, I smell the green apple. Definitely doesn't smell as dry as the rosé. And somewhere in there, I can smell the pepper. Let's find out. A lot of times when you pour the wine and you let it air out for a couple of minutes, the flavor really gets to come up into the air, into your nose. And again, if you are a wine connoisseur and you're watching this, do not judge. This is very much a Dirty Blonde, haphazard, for my friends type of review. Okay. Definitely dry, definitely herbal. Like where the rosé was very much sweet in the strawberry nature, this is a lot more herb-like. I can see this being tasty with a fatty fish. Even like sushi. I love to drink champagne with sushi. Something about the bubbles, but something about this flavor I could see going really well with definitely fish on a nice late afternoon, early evening. Not my favorite. I'm not a Sauvignon Blanc girl. It's just another dry wine when it prefers sweet. But for under $20 and for it being a sexy looking bottle, I'd buy it again. Especially if your date is a Sauvignon Blanc fan. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'll give it a 4.0 out of 5. I mean, fuck it. Yep. So we tried a little rosé, we tried a Sauvignon Blanc. Now for my favorite, which is red. I am a red wine girl. I love a deep, robust, bold red. Pinot Noirs are some of my favorite. Malbecs. In Spanish culture, we have Tempranillo. They're Shiraz, Chianti with a really good pasta dish, or in an Italian restaurant. When I was in Rome with my girlfriend, literally every single night we were out on the decks of some sort of restaurant by some sort of plaza, piazza, and just drinking red wine. Delicious. Two things with that. One, gets all over my teeth. And second of all, if I'm on a date, it sucks because it gets all over my teeth and all over my tongue. And it's just not attractive. Maybe it's because I have veneers? Who knows? So when I'm on a date, I tend to stay clear from red wines. It's just my thing. I'd rather not. But if we're going to a steakhouse or we're going to an Italian restaurant, red wine is just the way to go. It goes best with the dish that I'm eating. And when that happens, I sure do have no shame in the game, and I drink out of a straw. I'll tell you why. As a female, as a natural born female, I absolutely want my date to see me in the best light. So when I spend so much time on my makeup, on my hair, on my lipstick, like today, I don't want it to be ruined. So unless it's a transfer-proof lipstick, which I have yet to try one that's really transfer-proof, a straw is gonna happen. If he looks at me weird, oh well. I try and do a disclaimer beforehand. But for the most part, if you're going on a date with me, it doesn't surprise you that this bitch is definitely drinking wine out of a straw. So, which one are we gonna try here? For sure, we're gonna try layer cake. I've had layer cake before. I've had the Pinot Noir, but I haven't tried the Shiraz. Somebody in my house got a hold of it and took a sip of it. Ignore it. I didn't try it. So, why was it sexy to me? Well, I love chocolate. And when it comes to a red wine, when there's a flavor or taste profile that resembles chocolate, I'm all over it. So what do my notes say about layer cake? This Shiraz is a dense blackish red color with a deep opaque purplish core. Creamy with an explosion of exotic spices from South Australia. So we have a product of France, we have a product of California, and here we're going to Australia. First impression, it's just from the vibes alone, you can tell that it would be like a chocolatey, robust type of wine. And smell it. Oh, right off the bat, I get blackberry. I definitely get the plum. Let's see. One of the things before I go on that I do enjoy is an aerator. These are a great tool to have at your bar at home because, let's see how gifted I am if I can do it with one hand. Because as you pour, red wine, which usually needs air to breathe for it to taste even better, this little contraption allows that to happen. So, of course, we're just at home right now, we're chilling, we're hanging out, so we're not exactly doing everything to protocol. But if you're at home, grab yourself an aerator. I think they're a great tool to have at your bar. So normally when I open a red wine, I will, if I'm on a date, the man that I always have 100% belief that the man will order me my wine. I know it's controversial because I'm so independent and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But true to my core and to my nature, I enjoy to be wined and dined. Now, if I had a wine glass, which again is in my dishwasher, because I drink wine all the time, the glass, I would hold it by the stem so that the drink doesn't get warm. So I'm just gonna hold it up here. It's not very fruity, but I definitely smell the pear. Not the pear, the blackberry. The black plum. I definitely smell plum. And I'll tell you what, the first word that comes to mind to describe this Shiraz from Layer Cake is creamy. I would say yeah, it's definitely creamy. That bottle was under $15. So if your date enjoys a bold red wine for under $15, I'd give it a 4.0 for the Shiraz. Absolutely. It's something that because I am familiar with the brand, it's consistent. So I'm usually more a fan of, when it comes to reds, even though I love Pinot Noirs, Bordeaux's and Chiantis are my more favorite because of the nature of the grape and because I mostly eat it with Italian food. But if I were at the store and I were to see Layer Cake Shiraz, I'd pick it up again, for sure. And now we have Pinot Noir Underwood. This was at the grocery store and, oh, okay. like I mentioned before, I'm a fan of wine. It's something that I love to sample and try with friends and on a date. There's something about the luxuriousness of drinking wine out of a bottle, in a wine glass. You're at a restaurant or you're at a dinner party and that wine comes out with the proper stemware. It adds to the feeling, it adds to the environment, it adds to the ambiance. It's like if I'm gonna drink a martini, the last thing I would do is drink a martini out of a glass. I would drink it out of a martini glass because to me it tastes better. Same thing with champagne. I love to drink champagne out of a flute because that's what the glass is meant for, and it adds to the experience. There's something about holding it in your hand, in your fingers, that's just so sexy. So, not to knock this at all, because Lord knows when I was in college, no one got me out of my box wine. But I know where, when I looked into it and I read into them, which let me give you some information here. Based out of Oregon, this company, Underwood, which is unionwinecompany.com, made this because they wanted something approachable and ready to travel. And they wanted this wine and their brand, Underwood, to go where no wine has gone before. So maybe it's a festival or maybe it's a baseball game. I've never ever tried wine out of a can, so this is gonna be my first time. But if I were to be on a date and we're at your house and you bring this out, I can't say that I would be very impressed. Now, it's not to knock it, it's just a different vibe. However, if we were already in a relationship and you knew me and you knew that I didn't give a fuck, you know, I like to try new things, and you came and you brought this home, I'd be like, okay, let's try it, let's do it. Which is what we're doing today. We're just trying things out. So, I'm not gonna break a nail, so I'm gonna try and do it with the side. Oh yeah, it opens. All right, let's open this up. So this Underwood is $28 for a 4-pack, and their claim is hashtag pinky down. Without reading the notes, smoother than the layer cake. It's a lot less bold and robust. I can see this tasting good with pork, like a pork tenderloin. Also be good with duck, something not so gamey. So definitely a heavier dish, but not towards steak. I would still leave like the Shiraz, like this layer cake, for that kind of a meal. But see, it's already a mess. In the back it says, we love our wine, we just don't drink it with our pinkies in the air, hashtag pinkies down. There we go. Respect it, love it, do you, boo? Is it for me? No. Right now, I feel like I should be at a baseball game, you know, with a hot dog in one hand, drinking this in the other. Sorry guys, sorry Underwood Union Wine Company. I give it a 3.0. I'm gonna give it 3.0 because taste is not bad, but the experience of it is just not what I prefer when I'm wine tasting or when I'm on a date. But if I was like with my girls and we were at like Coachella, you know, I wouldn't be drinking wine at Coachella. I'd be doing other things, but I digress. But overall, it tastes good. So now the notes say a mix of raspberry, cherry, and chocolate. And yes, I can smell the raspberry. I can't taste the chocolate very much, not as much as I did with the layer. But chilled in the right environment, I guess. For the price though, if a 4-pack is about $28, I'd rather just do a bottle and just take red cups. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give it a 3.0. Well, that is it for me. I hope that these tips were a little bit useful. Next time you go to your local grocery store or liquor store and you're wondering, what am I gonna buy for my date? If she's into reds, I recommend the layer cake out of these. If she's into white, I recommend this Justin Sauvignon Blanc, even though I'm not a Sauvignon Blanc girl. I can't get around the can thing. I understand that they're trying not to take themselves seriously, but sometimes when it comes to wine, it's a moment, it's an experience, and the can situation kind of just depends on, you know, if you're at a baseball game and you just want to swig of something, okay, I guess so. But if I were gonna do that, I'd just drink a beer. And rosé, for it being a French rosé, I'm surprised that it was as dry as it was, but I haven't tried their brand before, so maybe there are other types that I'm gonna try. But for the most part, my top one out of these 4 was definitely the Shiraz layer cake. I hope it was useful. I hope it was some fun. Stay tuned for next episode of Boobs, Booze, and Bites. Till then, stay dirty and mwah. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.